Well, it's certainly not a toss-up as to which is crazier. That's for sure. But we found out that almost all of Congress, all senators, have a Twitter. Barack Obama really started this, right? He was our first real. I mean, Ronald Reagan did movies, but Barack Obama was our first real movie star president, right? You know, and he's kind of started this Twitter move, and everybody's followed suit. And so now you've got almost all of Congress, all senators are using Twitter. Almost every single member is on Twitter in some fashion or another. And so it kind of raises the question. It's like, okay, well, that would be good, right? I mean, but the reality is most of these congressmen and women are not tweeting, right? I mean, they're not actually the ones who are posting these tweets, are they, Chad?
Yeah, a lot of them might actually do it, but the problem you run into is when they do something, they stick their foot in their mouth, and they send a tweet that they shouldn't have sent. So a lot of them have professional staffers that do it, but you'd be amazed at how many people are turning to Twitter. I mean, the Pope right now has over 2.5 million followers. He tweets in 9 different languages. He's got 11,000 people following him just in Latin. So he tweets in Latin. Nobody spoke Latin for thousands of years. He tweets in Latin. 11,000 people are following it. It doesn't matter if you're Jason Kuchik or Jason Meyer or Jason Stewart here. You got to be tweeting. Yeah. You have to do it.
That's amazing. It just blows me away. And now I wonder, because is there any type of filter that has to be put on what is tweeted? I mean, is it personal stuff? Is it stuff that has to do with the bills that are being passed, the laws and things like that? I mean, I think there's got to be some sort of guideline there if we're allowing our elected decision makers to be doing this type of thing.
Well, remember, there's a fine line, and I'm not an attorney, but there's a fine line with what the government's allowed to do when they're representing themselves as a member of Congress or in the Senate or whatever, versus just as an individual person. So if they're using their official Twitter feed as an official member of Congress, and there's all kinds of rules and guidelines that they have to abide by. But primarily what they're trying to do is they're trying to reach the demographic of the people that are using Twitter. If you were born after 1982, 82 or later, then that's the only thing you know. You just know Facebook, Twitter, and the web. That's it. I mean, you don't know anything else.
It's pretty wild. What do you think about this? Because no one really talked about this, but Barack Obama's campaign to become reelected, how much of an impact do we think his social media presence had? I mean, he crushes Romney in Twitter followers and Facebook fans. Mm-hmm. Crushes him like 25 times.
Well, remember though, a lot of those fans you would purchase those so that you have like a larger fan base that's following you on Twitter. So you can spend a couple $1,000 and get hundreds of thousands of followers. So sometimes people pad their numbers. I'm not saying that he didn't crush Romney in the Twitter following.
Romney's got all that money. He could have easily purchased him some followers.
He could have bought some followers. It's real easy to buy followers. So that's something that gets a little...
But that's kind of pointless, is it not?
It's pointless to buy followers. It gives you a little bit more padding, a little more reputable, a little more, I don't know, I guess street cred is what they call it now. But no, I mean, it is important. They have to be tweeting because the demographic is shifted. And, I was at a dinner party last night, and the adults were all sitting in one room talking, and a couple of the guys, mid-40s, late 40s, didn't have any idea about what does this Twitter thing even do? How does it even work? But the kids, the Kuchik children and the Spivak children, they all knew everything about every person everywhere because of Twitter. So that's the people who have the money, and that's the people who are going to spend the money, and people who vote are these young people, and that's why they reach out to them. So corporate America and businesses in general have realized, hey, listen, we need to get on board with this, and it's not as bad as you think. I mean, the Pope's tweeting in Latin, for crying out loud. It's not as bad as you think. You can follow as many people as you want, or not follow people if you want. You can be as engaged as you want, but you need to have your business tweeting, even if it's just simple informational tweets that just kind of give people some awareness.
Give me some advice on how to tweet.
Yeah, so what we try to tell people, whenever you're engaging anyone in Twitter or whenever you're doing anything on Facebook or anything else, it's really important that you don't sound like you're trying to solicit business. You never want to try and ask for a customer's business through tweets. Occasionally you might do a special if you're a local place and you have some local followers and you're going to tweet out a 2-for-1 special on a meal or something. But you want your tweets to be informational and engaging, and you want to start social chatter. And so depending on the line of business you're in, you would want to maybe give information. People love to learn. So you might tweet out, hey, I just read this incredible article that Mr. Credit recommended, and I would tweet that. Mm-hmm. And it would be an article on why the stock market's going to keep going up and why the Apple's earnings disappointed the street, but that the stock market still rose, or whatever it is that you're going to want to tweet about. So whatever your sector is, if you're tweeting about something about real estate, if you're tweeting something about, the latest and greatest things in plastic surgery or pool repair or, the specials commercials, whatever. But we try to tell people, try to engage with your customer 9 times without asking them for their money. Try to engage with them 9 times with just information. And then every 10th time or so, slip something in about, hey, why don't you do business with us?
Okay, so you think 90% should be informational?
In my opinion, that's kind of like would you follow someone if on Twitter, or would you want to see a Facebook post if every single time they were just saying, come in today for half-off haircuts? I mean, you'd get kind of tired of it. But if that same haircutting place had tweeted out a photo of the most ridiculous haircut of the day, you might think that's kind of funny, and then you'll share it with your friends, and then what's going to happen? Everybody's going to say, hey, I like that haircutting place. It's, that looks like a place I'd like to go.
That's very, very good stuff. That's quite interesting. Are you learning as much as I am, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, I've done a little bit of twittering, and I've heard the same thing with the social media. You with your personal page, you want it to be a personal post. Then you can throw something about business. And do you find that to be true too with the personal page?
We do. So most important thing for a business is to set up a business page, because it's really cool. You can go back, go look at like the Old Spice business Facebook page and go back and look at some of their early advertisements. Do it for McDonald's, do it for some of your other favorite brands, and see how it goes back. Just a couple facts here, guys. There's going to be 400 million tweets sent today. 400 million. There'll be a billion today. There'll be 400 million tweets sent today. There'll be a billion within 70 hours of right now. A billion new tweets are going out. So there's 1 billion people on Facebook. You got 400 million tweets every day. You got 4 billion videos are watched every single day on YouTube. 4 billion videos are watched every day.
A day?
Every single day.
There's 4 billion views going on YouTube every
4
day.
billion different videos are watched. 4 billion, not different, but 4 billion views every single day on YouTube.
That's crazy.
That's mind-boggling.
It's mind-boggling. It's not going away either. Remember the other thing, too. We're all sitting here. I can see every one of us has a phone. You've got a little iPad. Mobile search is now the new dominant force. It just is. I mean, last year it was up to about 45%. By the end of the year, it'll be more than 50% of people will search for you on their mobile device. So the other thing I always tell my clients, get a mobile website. Mobile friendly is better than nothing, but get a mobile website for your business. Get a mobile website for your business immediately. Right now, just do it so that everybody is going to be looking for you when they're out and about, driving around. You need a mobile website.
What's the mobile website?
So,
I don't understand. I've heard of that before.
Okay, so you got basically there's kind of 3 kinds of websites, right? You got your basic website. You sit at your PC or your Mac or whatever, and you're looking at a website, and that's built to be looked at on that screen. If you have a mobile-friendly website, the text and everything kind of comes in a little bit easier for your smaller phone to read it. If you have a dedicated mobile website, a .mobi or an ESPNRadio.com or whatever. It actually is formatted completely differently than your primary website, so that everything, just like if you go on Facebook on your phone, that's a different website than the Facebook full site, and it gives you the option. I mean, sometimes you can go to it'll ask you, and most mobile websites will say at the bottom be a little icon that says, go to full site. So you want a mobile website, and it's different. So the address instead of epicfighting.com would be m.epicfighting.com or epicfightingmobi.com.mobi, or you'll work that part of it out. But you would want a specific website, has all the exact same content. It's just completely laid out for the mobile phone, because that's how people. And I'll tell you, you're losing business if you don't have a mobile app. If you don't have a mobile website right now, you are losing business.
What about getting an app? What about having it as
app's
an app
great.
design?
Apps are great. Apps, absolutely. I mean, I hate to plug a restaurant. Well, I won't tell you. I won't plug it. But there's a restaurant that serves incredible.
Plug a restaurant. I
use the P.F. Chang's app. I do all the time. My buddies up in Carlsbad, Darren Collins, Fred Ciosi, they're giving me the business all the time, give me the jazz, because I'm always on my P.F. Chang's app. And I have my favorites in there. I hit the app. My favorites come up. It knows exactly what I'm going to order, how many plates and fortune cookies and chopsticks I want. So get a mobile. Apps are great, and apps are cheap, a lot cheaper than you think. I mean, you don't have to be a multi-million-dollar company to have your own app.
And that's what I've been kind of waiting for, because at first, it's like you first started sitting down and talking to people about apps. I'm sure you've looked into it for Epic, Jason.
Yeah, we have.
Thousands and thousands of dollars. It's like, it's going to be $10,000 at least to program an app for you and get it in the App Store and all that stuff. That's not the case anymore?
Yeah, I'll charge you $10,000. No problem. I'll do that for you. No, you can get an app for a lot cheaper than that. It's not thousands and thousands, but it's not going to be hundreds. It's going to be a little bit more than that, but totally worth it. But before you go to the app, go to the mobile website, because you can do that almost for free. I mean, get a mobile website. Nobody is going to be driving around with a big old computer in their car looking for your business. They're going to be looking on their phone, looking for you. They're going to be out driving around, and when they want a restaurant or when they want somebody's to get a massage or a haircut, or the wife has time to get her nails done, whatever it is, they're going to look on their phone. Occasionally, they'll be looking on their iPad, but iPads are even too big for a lot of people. So they're looking on their phone. Get the mobile website.
Okay.
You got to do it. It's non-negotiable.
Right. Sold. I'm sold. I'm sold.
The science is settled.
I am sold. I just checked epicfighting.com, and it's working on the phone. That's
you're mobile friendly, which is good.
Mobile friendly.
You're mobile friendly.
And I just tweeted that I'm tweeting about my conversation about tweeting. So
There you go.
Tweeting about tweeting. There it is. We've now done it all on this show. Great stuff today, guys. Appreciate you. That's Chad Chiniquy that you've been hearing from SearchControl.com and Jason Stewart from epicfighting.com.